which is another reason I kind of like Gyrocopter as an answer. If you want to run that with Among Us, and then you have an easy way to kill off the Timber at that point.
And no matter what, he's going to be in the... Well, so if it's a side lane mag core, toss into Skewer.
Hey.
Always a possibility.
Sounds like fun. Yeah, I think that they're a little bit flummoxed by this IO pick here.
Yeah, they're taking a long time on this fourth pick of theirs. They theory crafting, doing a core Mirana and picking an AA or something. No, they're gonna just Kunkka it up, get some team fight, a tanky mid laner, and something that can just kind of hold its own against a potential, the relocate ganks and whatnot, where a boat can kind of turn things around.
10 seconds remaining.
Well, it could also be a tiny 3 now I'm thinking about it. I wouldn't mind that either. And then just take another 4. Or
Yeah.
mag 4.
I feel like neither the Tiny nor Magnus is really an Abed hero.
Right.
Yeah.
The Tiny is definitely more so the Abed hero, but I think most likely those are the 3 and 4 position. It's just kind of maybe unclear which is which. Magnus is a 4, we just haven't seen. Usually it's either Magnus Core or Magnus 5, and that's where I think Tiny might just be the 4, but sometimes you just gotta mix up the drafts and rolls based on the game in front of you, so it could be a game for a Magnus 4.
Radiant team ban.
Good answer to X. Good answer to Timbersaw with almost Magic Burst.
Dire team ban.
Not necessarily great against ET, since you have just so much natural armor that the natural order is a little bit irritating, but there's also not that much physical damage on the side of Motivate.Trust, so who really cares about losing armor?
Why Morphling over Gyro, do you guys think?
10 seconds remaining.
I think it's the X. I think Gyro would be too so you have to get a very early BKB, and that makes it awkward for an IO sometimes if your tether gets broken, so
Radiant team
I
ban.
think you can just get stuck to a Morphling a little bit more reliably against this Motivate draft.
Yeah, if there's like an X combo that hits onto him, you can strength farm with even if he gets hit by the arrow afterwards, it's fine. But yeah, it is weird taking it into the ET. That is a bit of a problem. Overall, though,
5 seconds
just the way that
remaining.
these fights are going to work out right now for Among Us, it's crazy synergy. Jump in, avalanche toss, you can just sort of keep the mag behind, go for a RP if things get a little bit too testy, but the E-Blade or even just an adaptive strike secures the kill onto anybody, I feel like. Maybe not anybody. These are somewhat tanky heroes on Motivate.Trust at this point. So it could be a little bit of a switch up.
I'd be down for an Abed OD.
Yep. You're against 3 melee heroes already. I mean, as soon as you see Timber, OD is always at least in the past, a consideration.
Mm-hmm.
They ban AM Drow. 2 heroes that are pretty good against OD.
Yeah.
Is there any way that this could be an Abed morph?
It's definitely possible. I think Morph does okay versus Kunkka mid.
10 seconds remaining.
I guess the question is, what safe lane are you looking at then? I
5
don't
seconds
like
remaining.
Gyro with Morph that much. I think it's just too greedy.
Radiant team picked.
Unless Morph gets an Ags. Well, I mean, that's also extremely greedy, but yeah.
I was thinking as an answer, a lane counter to the Timbersaw or something, like an Ursa maybe, which is a dead hero, but secure Roche, play with IO.
I'd be okay with Ursa just in general, but yeah, it's kind of a dead hero.
5 seconds remaining.
But I do prefer a side lane morphing over a mid lane morphing.
Give me something good.
I feel they want some just more damage output here. Right now it's, E-Blade Morphling timing is possible, the Tiny's possible, but yeah, okay. Lena comes into play. Just that kill threat, that somebody that you go on with a Tiny combo or an RP is gonna die. Because here's Kunkka and Timbersaw, they can tank up and just so they can survive a Tiny combo.
Right.
So Lina comes into play, probably
10
the mid
seconds
laner.
remaining.
Yeah. And a Yule's builder, so you do have at least one way to
5
deal with
seconds
X.
remaining.
Whoa.
Now select your heroes.
Wow. What?
So still mid Kunkka, but right?
Probably.
yeah.
I mean,
I think
yeah,
so.
Jackie picks up the arc ward.
Okay, yeah. Masteros offlane Timber. Oh, Zephyr's gonna be playing the Lina. Abed is gonna be playing the Magnus.
Okay.
Mid lane Magnus versus mid lane Kunkka. That seems like a bad time for Magnus.
This is a really weird draft.
It's
I
really
think Magnus will do fine. He's Magnus.
yeah. He's melee though.
Yeah, he's got power. He's,
I like how your justification is. He's Magnus. It's fine. Whatever.
It's a Magnus.
I think
wrong
use.
with
I
it?
think it's a boring lane where they probably trade farm.
Yeah, that's fair.
Maybe. I'm for Abed's hope. I think it is
Yeah.
because otherwise Kunkka could get out of control here. But this is it. It's game 3, deciding not elimination, but upper bracket final here between Motivate.Trust and Among Us. We're gonna jump to a quick break, and when we return, your casters johnxfire and MLP.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are here for game number 3 of this upper bracket finals between Among Us and, of course, Motivate.Trust Gaming. It's MLP, Dota, and johnxfire. John, we were talking about the draft. They gave Jackie the Arc Warden. We've seen this many, many times. How are you feeling about this for Among Us?
I think if they don't stop Jackie from hitting his timing on his Midas and then contesting his farm consistently, which is very hard, I think you're going to have issues. Now, you do have the relocate to play with to chase him down if you are active early on. My issue is Among Us' draft isn't particularly fast either, right? Like, you've got this Magnus mid. We know the timings that wants. We're talking about Blink, Echo Saber first, and then maybe something like the Silver Edge or at least a Shadow Blade before you start fighting. That's just what we see. You've got In Your Dream on a Morphling, which, can kind of match an Arc Warden's pace, but shotgun timing has to be there. Quick, and it can play fast, but you don't necessarily want to. There's a lot of pressure here on Zephyr and Cuckoo, along with Morch, perhaps with some relocate plays with Cuckoo, to keep that pace down. So I think MG.Trust, they've got a really nice draft. Jackie's on a signature here of his. This is something MG.Trust falls back to when they want not a free win, but a better chance of winning as well. And I think MG.Trust, with this kind of draft, are very confident.
I'm sure they are, and of course, as we always say when we do have an Arc Warden, John, if everyone in the chat could please prepare their OS frogs, we are going to need them later on, I'm sure. So just have them warmed up, make sure you've tested them, make sure your OS frogs are working. So we do have an Arc Warden after all, and God knows what happens with this hero once it gets farmed up. So we'll see how it all pans out, though. Among Us, they do have a very intriguing draft. A Magnus draft without any kind of melee cores to buff up with the Empower. Of course, the bonus damage is still going to be very nice on your Morphling. And even the Tiny, for that matter, can be quite decent with the Empower. Looks like Arbit just saying, give me the Magnus. I'll be the right-click core. I'll be the control for the team. And we also know what Arbit can get done in this Magnus. Should be a very explosive game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was saying that the Magnus timings are slow, but I'm trying to recall the last time we saw Abed Mag. He was in the same situation, right? He had no one to really empower. He was just playing at mid, but he made the play. So if you land those RPs, it can be big, but action up top already.
Yeah, there is. It's like everyone's going to be okay so far. Cuckoo is looking for, not looking for much, just trying to get some CS going. Because those Spark Wraiths are kind of infuriating to play against, and as we were talking about that, bot lane Q ends up getting first blood. March is the one to go down on the IO. He had a bit of a rough game last game around, and you kind of hope it's not going to be a repeat performance, but he is going to have to give away first blood here to motivate.
And you're already off to a really good start. You've got this Timbersaw lane that IYD has to deal with, so Masaros, with that first blood, probably feels a bit confident. You don't have to worry about the sustain from the IO for a bit. You can get your level 2 up, which is really the Timbersaw's nice spike to start applying harassment. And, March has got to make a long walk forward. He was trying to TP home a while ago, so it has to waste some time and does TP now, but if he gets caught out again, he's going to walk a third time. So, gotta be cautious there with your positioning, March.
Well, it is a very tough kind of lane for the IO as well, right? Because the Whirling Death, it removes so much stats from March on that IO, and if Q lands an arrow, you're borderline just gonna die if you're around half HP. So we'll see what he does get done. Of course, in the mid lane, you do have Fearless and Arbet. And Fearless, is he wearing those boots you get if you won Aghanim Scepter time trials?
I think so. It does look that way.
Yeah, he is. The Waterlogged boots. But Fearless has been skewered back into the tier 1 tower. Does eat a Fairy Fire, but a Shockwave is going to drag him back. Arbet can't get in range to cancel off the salve. He's going to be all right. And I never realized Fearless had those Waterlogged boots. Very nice.
Looks like it was a gift, but very lucky for Fearless. He gets to dance around with that. Still, you can't rest easy in this lane for Arbet, right? Like he doesn't even have Empower. He's just playing with a Shockwave perfectly, playing with a Skewer. And if you do misstep here, there are ways for Arbet to kind of dance around it. So we'll see what Fearless can get done. Still really even so far. 14-5 for Arbet, 12-3 for Fearless. Gonna be down to those supports, and you do have this Mirana combo with Q, but he will need to make his way down there, perhaps for that 4-minute power rune.
Q. Well, he's taking a lot of damage here from March. March just keeps going forward for it. Q has a Fairy Fire, wants to try and play here with March. Doesn't have another arrow yet. They're going to man fight this one out. Fairy Fire's being eaten. Q needs to leap away, but In Your Dream does come in for the waveform. And March, a very aggressive man fight from a ball of light, John. But it does work out.
Yeah, I like the confidence, and that's gonna slow down Q just a bit. He'd love to have had level 3 by now, because we are approaching the 4-minute mark, but stuck at level 2, you might not be able to make the biggest plays with, say, an X arrow combo. You're still in a pretty good spot. Still up top, though,
Avalanche.
Jackie.
Yeah, LSA is going to land. Cuckoo gets a toss back onto Jackie. They know how important it is to try and shut this man down. Arrow, not going to connect on anyone from among us. They are just trying to run now as Q has rotated around. Zephyr is very low and does drop. And now Cuckoo, he's going to try and run away as well. With a nice toss back onto Q. It's like Cuckoo should be okay to run out of there. He's going to take a substantial amount of damage, but it's all right. He does have the bottle and a tango left. But they do manage to save Jackie, and they do kill off Zephyr.
Yeah, it's a good bounce back in for MG.Trust. On top of that, Fearless did manage to secure himself the bottle refill as well. So he does get the Arcane Rune for himself. Abed would have probably liked it. He's going to run empty for a bit, so he's not going to have as much presence. And Fearless can start to bully out that lane just a bit more. So you have to be cautious about that still. MG.Trust, they're shoving in their waves. They're getting this good start. They do overextend a bit.
Oh, Arrow connects onto Cuckoo. Just kind of flew by everyone, and Cuckoo is also going to get stomped up, but March is going to TP in and make sure Cuckoo does stay alive. Boombell, meanwhile, will just TP in the tree line. Q will run away with a creep wave and does take the bounty rune as well. So just forcing rotations out from among us so far. Too much else being done here. A 1-2 between these two teams. This is probably still going to favor Motivate.Trust, because we know Jackie. He's just trying to rush the Midas right now. He already has the Gloves of Haste out, just needs the recipe. And he's looking kind of on track for it. His CS has suffered, but we all know what he wants.
Yeah, it's a straightforward time, although.
Yeah, March, caught out by Fearless, will also drop on the IO. His second death this game. Arbet, of course, unable to help him out. We'll just get back to farming on the Magnus.
And this is one strength that MG.Trust does have on hand. Her rotation potential is a lot stronger. And we talk about the timings here for Among Us. It does take a little bit more farm for the course to be ready to make that move out. Right, you're falling behind a bit in terms of levels as well. Fearless is just applying the pressure he can get out with his nice spike on the Kunkka. And all Abed really needs to focus on is just farming himself. So it's going to be slower for a mid.
He's been fluxed up by Jackie. Arrow is going to connect as well, and that is just a free kill for Jackie. Happily take that one. Onto Zephyr, they try to get some damage out, but March, with the overpower, going to have enough to keep him safe. They will also realize Fearless made a rotation there on the Kunkka. He's just going to run back to the mid lane and keep contesting Arbet on the mag. Everything is still going quite smoothly for both teams right now. Especially In Your Dream, by the way, who we haven't really talked about very much in the Morphling. But he is top of the CS board, and while Masaros is trying, there isn't really much kill potential here for Masaros. In Your Dream should always just be fine to survive on the morph. And so he can just continue to free farm without really too much pressure being applied.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Top lane, Zephyr, fluxed up, arrow does connect, and Zephyr, it's going to be another kill there for Jackie. Boombill and Q both just standing back and allowing Jackie to take another free kill for himself.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about Jackie not quite finding the last hits. If he finds 2 kills in that laning phase, though, still going to be very glad. That Midas we were mentioning looks set to come out right around the 8-minute mark, and
Bot lane, In Your Dream, yeah, the boat came in, but In Your Dream just going to walk away from it. Fearless going to continue trying to apply pressure, but In Your Dream can just kind of juggle his strength. Unless he misclicks, he's not going to die here. March is just behind the tree line as top lane. Zephyr does kill off Boombill. So Boombill does drop. Nice little kill there from Zephyr. Back down to the bot lane, however. Masros gets a T1 tower. In Your Dream, just still freely farming, ignoring everyone. But March can't really do that, and Fearless is going to be able to get the Tidebringer hit and connect with the kill. In Your Dream now may not be feeling so confident. He does get X'd up, trying to run. They have the Whirling Death available, so In Your Dream will just try to waveform away. Still trying to TP and does make it out, but top lane. Cuckoo does kill off Jackie, Q will kill off Cuckoo, and Zephyr will kill off Q. A complete mess up with that top lane.
yeah, they do find a big kill, though. They slow down Jackie just a bit. He was right on the cusp of buying out that Midas, but he's going to have to wait a couple of seconds more. So, it's not the biggest slowdown. You are still seeing Jackie lag behind. It's definitely a smoother start for Among Us' cores. You do have Fearless on this runaway start, though. So it's kind of offset by that. And you can see Fearless, he is rushing the Sanj up, perhaps looking for Heaven's Halberd down the line just to get a nice disarm out into her morph. Or perhaps just holding on to the stat resist. We'll see what the plan there for Fearless is down the line. Among Us, they're playing the slower game now. They're trying to build up stacks. They do toss in.
No. Yeah, mid lane, toss in on Arbit, but he does not connect with the skewer. Looked like a free kill there, but just a quick miss, and Boombill is going to be able to walk himself out. Back into Cuckoo, in fact, but I think he's pretty confident he won't die to this Tiny. Still, Arbit is following him down. Cuckoo, does he want to go for an avalanche toss? Not quite. Stomp will come out. Arrow is going to connect out from Q. March is going to be around to help, and RP is going to be committed by Arbed on both heroes. Shockwave will get one. They'll chase down Q. He does not have any leap charges left. He's going to just run the old-fashioned way. Meanwhile, Jackie's still around the area, does just pick up his Midas, but Arbed wants to try and take him out, does get his courier. Now the Shockwave connects. Jackie will bring out the Tempest Stubble, but how do you survive this one? He's just going to use both Midases and try to fight back. He kills off Cuckoo, but he does die in the end. And I think for Jackie, he's just happy he got both Midases used up before he did go down. In fact, March is going to be X'd up by Fearless. Arbed already TP'd away. Arrow is going to be there, and Fearless does get himself a free kill now on the Kunkka.
Yeah, it's now a 6-9 here for Among Us and MG.Trust. Really nice number 2K lead for MG.Trust as well. And they are keeping eyes on Jackie. They're making the right plays. They're keeping him kind of locked in. But with his Midas up, I don't think he's going to care too much. It's about that time where we see MG.Trust just buy space out for Jackie. He's going to play in that jungle, spam out the Tempest Double occasionally to build farm up. Among Us are using this time well, though. They're farming up an Abed as well. Blink is almost there for our Magnus, and that should allow them to start playing. And you're seeing IYD, he is saving up for the Manta buildup on his Mort. So he wants to play a bit more active early on, match that pace they want to get out, and we'll see if they can make it happen.
Lane, toss back on Fearless. That's a big pickup, and they do commit everything for it. A massive stomp out. Masaros might try to go in with the Earth Splitter. They do kill off Cuckoo. But Fearless not going to be happy about dying like that. Massive pick off there for Among Us. And now a relocate. Where are they going? Towards the bot lane. So March just wants Arbit to farm more. Very nice little relocate out from March.
Yeah, just a little bit more efficiency being built up. That's one way for Among Us to match that pace.
Arrow connects onto March as he relocates back in, though. That's the unfortunate consequence, I suppose. And Well, at least Arbet did farm up to have that blink up now.
Yeah, they are taking hits on their mid-tier 1, but they do find a top tier 1 in exchange. So they need to defend this mid-tier 1. You don't want to lose that space. We know where MG.Trust wants to play, and they are kind of setting up at the back. They've still got the blink reveal left for Abed. You could try for an RP play.
They could. The smoke around. They want this blink reveal to go well. They don't want to aim down Masaros. He's going to be a bit too tanky to take out for now. They're going to head over to the bot lane where they know Jackie was. In fact, they ping out his exact location. They know he's rotated into the triangle. Abed spots him out. Smoke is broken. He'll just go in for the skewer back. He doesn't need the RP, it seems like. And with the avalanche toss, it will be enough. In fact, they even scout out some ancient stacks. But Fearless is going to rotate in with Masaros. They will try to chase them away from that. But while that's happening, Q in the mid lane does go down to In Your Dream, who appears to have been able to set up with an arrow of his own. And now they're onto the mid-tier 1 tower.
Yeah, it's the right game plan for Among Us. They're playing nicely with these spikes. They're keeping Jackie constantly under pressure, which is, again, very different from what we've seen other teams do against MG.Trust. So as long as our Arc Warden doesn't get the free farm, I think they're in a good spot, although they are going mid again.
They are. I mean, the pressure has been applied onto their Arc Warden. I don't feel like they feel very safe right now, so they've got to buy some more time here. However, fight going to break out. Boat is thrown out by Fearless onto Cuckoo, and Masaros just jumping into the backlines. He wants March dead. They'll kill off Cuckoo first. The rest of Among Us look like they're just going to back off, but Masaros, he's not done. He will go deep and find March, while Arbet will go for a skewer play back. He's run out of mana for the RP, though. Looks like he does not want to commit onto the Timber anyway. We'll just let it be. Nice couple pickups there from Motivate.Trust. Among Us, back to farming for them.
Yeah, and MG.Trust with that mid-tier 1 take have opened up that bot jungle. So they've got a spot to farm in. They're probably going to look to have Jackie run between the triangle and this bot jungle to maintain his farm. There is a ward here from Among Us, but it is going to fade, and they do get some D-wards out. So MG.Trust just keeping that control in check. Among Us, we're still waiting for more, although they are lining up for the tier 2 bot, just keeping that pressure in the lanes. And Among Us are trying to avoid a fight. In Your Dream still saving up for the Manta. They haven't been able to use that Blink RP well just yet. The Echo Saber's coming out soon, though. That's going to be a nice boon. MG.Trust doesn't care. They just want to poke these towers down and force a response out.
They do. They're going to try and do the same thing here Among Us. They're pushing in that mid tower and the top tier 2 tower. MG.Trust not really flinching though, are just going to continue onto that tier 2 bottom tower. Meanwhile, a creep skip here from Cuckoo and March. Using that relocate to stop this push, so they've got a TP back up top and try to take a fight, but the tier 2's already gone, and they are not going to be able to catch anyone out. Some great relocate plays being made here from March. Really just kind of negating the pressure that was being applied. They're going to try and fight anyway, but Q is kind of alone right now in this Mirana. Meanwhile, mid lane, Jackie with the Tempest double playing around. Not going to be able to catch out Cuckoo. Looks like the Among Us boys are very happy with the way that that tier 2 tower going down was, and I guess it's just time for them to back off now. Pressure's been applied.
Yeah, they're just going to keep this farm game up. They still are waiting for IYD to finish his first mid-game item.
Oh, Abed misses the RP. Kook, Fearless now wants to go in for an X-Bone. Avalanche, no, toss won't be enough. LSA is there. They're trying to fight back Fearless. He's just so tanky with the boat rum. They do take down Abed. Now the stop is there. Masaros in with the Earth Splitter out from Boombell, and March is always going to be the first target. Will die as Fearless with that boat rum does survive. He will just run his way out.
Yeah, it's just a bit of a massive issue. When you don't land the RP, that's where all your team fights are riding on right now. That bot tier 2 does fall in the end as well. So MG.Trust are evening out that map control. They maintain the 3k lead on their side for net worth. And Jackie has now been left alone to farm. So he's still slightly behind in Your Dream. But this is an Arc Warden. This is the Jackie Arc Warden we're talking about. Won't take too long for him to catch up, close the gap. Already has the Maelstrom up here, Mike, and this is just the pace that Jackie likes. He's died 3 times, which is way worse than usual, but when you just leave him alone, fine. And Among Us, they need to play around their timings. Abed does have his Echo Saber up with a Blink RP, so there's some more damage coming through here. I think they've got to play around that next RP, maybe got to smoke out, catch at least one, and toss everything out, get a couple of kills, and try to keep that threat up. Maybe look at that mid-tier 1 as well to regain some map control here.
Abed just going to keep the pressure up towards that top lane. Fearless is going to be forced to TP in and try and defend, but he has X'd himself up, so he's going to make the return back down to the mid lane anyway. They do immediately smoke up in that mid lane.
Radiant are scanning.
Cuckoo might just show himself on this bot wave, and he will. And that might just spell his doom. Masaros going to show himself first. Cuckoo, he's X'd up. He really wants that Blink Dagger, but he just can't get to the point where he has enough gold for it. He's going to die again, Fearless. Able to take the kill on the Kunkka. And Among Us, they're trying to apply the pressure up that top lane, but it's just not enough.
It's not lining up in the same way. MG.Trust are confident enough with their burst damage, with their control, to get these plays out. We talked about Among Us kind of having to depend on their Lina and their Mac, and they've been taking the backseat for a bit. Again, they are keeping up in farm well enough. In Your Dream still number 1, but key items are flying in. The BKB and Fearless means that Lina's damage is not going to be coming out anymore. You're relying entirely on RP to keep this Fearless Kunkka in check now.
Masaros, RP committed. They get him mid-chains. Masaros might just die here. He's still a bit tanky, but the avalanche tosses out, and In Your Dream gets in with the damage. Big pick up there for Among Us, and you were just talking about that, but that is something they just needed to do, is get that RP on cooldown, get a big kill, and they will immediately smoke up straight after. Problem is, I believe that was scouted out by an observer ward.
Yeah. Not going to lead to much. They don't have any good wards as well to give them information, so this is a blind walk around for Among Us. We'll see. They might get intercepted here, but MG.Trust are just playing it right, playing in that jungle, and not really showing up here.
Well, they've got a DD on In Your Dream now, so at least you can get that tier 1 mid tower, and they will be able to get it. Without Masaros, it seems like they aren't confident to try and take a fight, so In Your Dream will happily just keep farming. Even taking the outpost away prior to that 20-minute mark, and they are going to try to rush and get that outpost back before that XP comes in. It won't matter anyway. The bottom outpost is controlled by the Dire, so it is still going to be an even split.
Balance the scale.
Still nice of Among Us to be able to take an outpost back before that 20-minute mark did hit, though. You don't want to fall behind an XP too much.
No, definitely not. They do manage to stall long enough that Cuckoo does have his Blink. So now you do have your Tiny that can play with your Magnus as well. You've got additional burst on top of your Lina, and that should give you a couple of openings there if you do manage to find the right target. Now, Jackie is having a steady build-up though. He's got his Hyperstone up, Mjolnir 700 gold off, and once you have that, well, what he's doing now is going to be 10 times worse, and I think Jackie is, again, just very happy with this place, although...
Toss back is very, very nice, but it's not going to be enough. Boombill, he survives, and Zephyr's the one to die. In Your Dream, going to rush forward, looking for an adaptive, does connect, but the raindrops going to save the day for Boombill. Abed, Shockwave is off the mark. Masaros will go back in now, onto Abed, but March is going to be there with the tether. Arrow flying in will not connect either. Motivate, they do not let back on the aggression, they just keep moving forward. Moonlight Shadow will be popped. They're going to be on the hunt now. Cuckoo got to be careful to show himself down to that bot wave again. Meanwhile, Q has spotted out Abed. Stomp is going to be there. It stomps him mid-skewer with the Earth Spitter to come out and the arrow. Abed, he is a pretty big sitting duck right now and is going to die. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, X is going to be out. They caught In Your Dream, but he is going to be freed away for. So we do have a quick pause to come out now from Among Us. Perhaps some more FPS drop issues happening here for this Radiant side, but there's a lot more issues than that, John. They're currently 7k net worth behind. And Jackie has officially caught up on the Arc Warden now, taking the top spot on that net worth board. And this is kind of what you're afraid of if you're up against this Arc Warden.
Yeah.
Even with the terrible start he had, he always makes the comeback happen. And it gets to a point where you start to question whether you can contest this hero in the late game.
I mean, you've got options with a Morphling. You do have to put so much work into it. It's just what the Arc Warden forces you to play like. I think the IO is going to simplify that process slightly, so March's relocate starts to matter more and more as the game goes on. But they can't do anything about these pushes right now. They just stare at their tier 2 going down, and Jackie just gets it for free. And this is just him with Mjolnir. That's it. This is just the Arc Warden with just the Mjolnir. So this is still set to get worse as Jackie has a lot more room to grow. They have given In Your Dream some space to farm up, though. He has also been left uncontested this game. 3-0 right now. Scotty is going to be his next pickup. It's just not as fast. You just never farm as fast as an Arc Warden with 2 Midases. That's just it.
Yeah. No, you really don't. And, they'll just control the die triangle while Boom Bell may be caught out by In Your Dream, but the stomp from our Morphling does not connect. Got very low, but not low enough, and now the stomp will return back the way of In Your Dream, but in the Radiant Triangle, they are just forcing out the side of Among Us. Just pressuring them back, not allowing them to get any farm in. And so the only hero that's really farming at the moment is In Your Dream on the Morphling. That's it. Everyone else is kind of just stuck taking a camp or two. Abed trying to contest here with Q, but clumsy in it, and Arrow is going to be there into the Chakram and the Earth Splitter. Abed just trying to run away in March. We'll relocate him out, but the X-Pack is going to be on the IO. He was coming back anyway, but they'll bring him back sooner. Poor March.
Yeah. He's had a rough one every single time this IO. He's doing fine, though. You know, he's buying space for his team. He's kind of getting them space to farm up. They will need to respond to this, though. Big push. They've got RP, but Abed's in the wrong side of the map for that.
They are. High ground attempt is now out for MG.Trust. You cannot ignore this. I mean, Jackie's not that farmed up yet, but he still hits pretty hard, and with 2 of him, of course, it makes it that much easier. Did we mention, by the way, that Jackie found a Grove Bow, John?
Lovely, yeah. You gotta love it, right? Like, every time, Jackie just finds what he wants, and Grove Bow just simplifies that process into the high ground. Remember, he doesn't have something like Avenge here. He still has the ridiculous range and still the non-committal with the Tempest Double. And he's going to go into that Hurricane Park, so he's going to have more range, a way of porting himself around. Now, there is a smoke from Among Us. They still hold on to that RP, but they don't really find big targets yet.
It's important they do. I mean, they can't wait for this game. You know what's going to happen. I mean, they know. They don't want to play late game into an Arc Warden, even with the Morphling, but they're going to try and fight now. Masteros is in. Gets a bit of vision. That is not the target they want. However, Zephyr being caught out here with Cuckoo. The bone is going to fly in. Zephyr trying to fight back, but he has 0 damage. He Lagooned Fearless and it did nothing. It literally did maybe 100 damage.
It's that run buff. It's really keeping Fearless up in front, really tanky. You've also got, you know, this disparity. Pause for Lena is behind, although.
Boombell's going to get caught. A nice pick off there from In Your Dream. But he's going to have to back off now. X-Pack is there. Should be able to waveform away. Meanwhile, Abed trying to skew on to Fearless. But the BKB is going to be out, and now here we go. The magnetic field is dropped. Abed trying to run. He's forced the BKB to get out of here. This is what this hero does, John. It takes everything from you. Everything.
Oh, that's just disgusting. Jackie. It's just...
Oh, toss back. Masteros has been caught. Skewer is there from Arbed. They might get this Timber. No, Masaros is still alive. Pops the one charges, but there's a Laguna out. Zephyr, he'll get the kill. They need to chase for more. Cuckoo looking for a toss back. The boat, in your dream. He got relocated in. He will survive for now. Just trying to fight back. Arbed, meanwhile, Skewer in, does catch out Q, and they will get the Marana. In for the fight back, though. MG.Trust, they want to try and turn this one around. The buyback is there from Masaros. They're going to engage now onto Arbed. He has that RP. He does not get it off in time. So in your dream, he'll fight back. He's disarmed at the moment, though. Back onto March. The IO is going to die. Jackie with the triple. Onto In Your Dream again. He doesn't have waveform for another 5 seconds. He's trying to strength morph, but he's in big trouble. He'll chain. It will not help. He will die. Masaros picks him up. And it might be time to start committing some buybacks. I don't think you can let this high ground go down.
No, you don't want it gone. It's 27 minutes in. This is when they're still fairly strong in Among Us, but they have no choice. It looks like they're not confident, even with a buyback flying through. And Jackie's just going to rip and tear. Like, if you don't contest, then what do you expect?
Zephyr out of position, does get the Yules off, but the Spark Wraith is going to be there, and Masaroff blows him up. Now, In Your Dream is in with Cuckoo. They still don't have Arbed, but they got Jackie. They got the big one. The Arc Warden's down. Masaroff, meanwhile, killing off March. Fearless looking to turn back around onto In Your Dream. They won't have the damage without their Arc Warden, I don't believe. And with those buybacks, well, they are going to lose Cuckoo, but no, Arbed, a big RP out onto 3 heroes with the Shockwave and Skewer, but there's no follow-up to it. In Your Dream, he wasn't ready for that. He did not, or he couldn't waveform in. Fearless now, going to turn back around with the boat. Onto the Morphling. Do they have the control? In Your Dream, barely alive. March saving the day, healing him back up. Now they'll turn onto Boombell. The stomp is there. Boombell is very low, however. Trying to run away. Is being chased by an IO at the moment, but Boombell, he will finally go down to March. And MG.Trust, they are just forced to run away, but In Your Dream gets a big X off onto Fearless, who X's himself back to the high ground. In Your Dream now getting hit by a torrent. Masaros still around. In Your Dream tries for a random torrent. He does not connect, but they do successfully protect the high ground. They save their racks. All they'll lose is a tier 3 tower on the side of Among Us, and they might even get a Roshan.
Yeah, this is one thing that Among Us does really quick. They've got a good amount of right-click damage. They've got that power to play with, and they can absolutely melt the Rosh. So first Rosh of the game going to go their way. MG.Trust just not quick enough, but they might be able to scout it out.
Yeah, Arbed, pick up that Aegis. In Your Dream will take it, but the X is going to be out. They want to fight anyway. Zephyr trying to control up Jackie. Jackie's about to drop. He drops the magnetic field. He is not dead yet, but no, In Your Dream with the chain in. Does have enough. Jackie will die again. Now the arrow. Not going to be there on Arbed, but Masaros out of position. Will chain away. The Earthsplitter's there, but In Your Dream and Cuckoo not done yet with the toss back. They'll get a tie back onto Masaros. A big opening here from Among Us in this game number 3. They're looking confident now, John. They'll move into that tier 2 mid tower.
MG.Trust, their positioning is just a bit off. Like, you can't afford to have Jackie up in front like that. They were already a bit too late for the Rosh. They still clump up to try and fight, and this is the punishment. The high ground now being sieged by Among Us. No buyback into his 2 heroes, Mike. It's going to be 3 on 5 for the siege.
That's a big problem. Glyph is out, but the side of Among Us, they know. They know the buybacks aren't there, and it's really only Fearless with Q and Boombell to defend. Disarm out to delay things, but they need at least another 15 seconds for Jackie to be up, and even then, I'm not sure if they're confident without Masaros. Mid-Rax is definitely going down Among Us. Take the lead in this game number 3. Not really in terms of net worth, but in terms of objectives. And with that Aegis up on In Your Dream, they're going to turn back around now. If they kill off Jackie, this game could potentially be over. Fearless? Oh, they don't know. Jackie, he'll send the Tempest double down first. X is there on Zephyr, but Cuckoo in with the Avalanche toss and the Laguna. Fearless, though, survives through it. Q controlling up Cuckoo on that Tiny. He'll try to run away. So he'll be fine for now. A nice LSA out from Zephyr. The boat will be forced in, but Arbed, he's looking for an RP attempt. Where can he find one, though? He can't quite yet. He will be patient. Looks like that'll be enough. Among Us, a nice attempt to try and finish off the game, but they will not be given the opening. Still, they are making a comeback. They'll go back to farming and just be patient.
Yeah, it's down to MG.Trust now to play the perfect game. They need to get Jackie's positioning right. They need to get the split push going well. They have yet to find their own set of racks. So that's the next thing they should set out to do here with the Tempest doubles for Jackie, beyond just farming. They do have a sight of Vice up now in Fearless. So they have additional control to come out to maybe pin down our Morphling. In Your Dream did not go for anything defensive. He only has the Manta style. So there is a moment of vulnerability there for the Morph. Can kind of lock him in, get the damage off. The sustain coming out from March is starting to be really annoying though. Like, there are no Spirit Vessel charges in queue anymore, so they have no way of mitigating it. They need to maybe find a pick off of MG.Trust's side to get a charge to kind of prevent that in the next fight, but Among Us is starting to be more disciplined. They've clumped up. They're not giving any openings to find those single target pickoffs, and if you look at the Dota Plus win probability, Mike, it was around 90% for MG.Trust. It's crashed down to 65 now. So that costing mistakes just swung it all the way back.
Oh, Jackie just can't afford to die 2 times in a row like that. He can't get that cocky quite yet. He does have an Eye of Skadi coming out soon on this Arc Warden, and maybe after that he can feel more confident, but he might need it right now, and he won't have buyback golds. They have smoked up on Among Us, but Masteros will cancel the smoke. Fearless is going to be targeted. He's going to be alright. Turning back around, looking for an X. Does go on to March. Boat is there. Does connect. March trying to relocate out. Probably won't make it. He does tether. He's going to be alright for now. But no, he does go down to Fearless. Meanwhile, Arbet with a skewer back has caught Masteros. He drags him out of the team fight. But In Your Dream has been left behind. Trying to fight. Who are they going after now? The arrow there. Masteros still on the high ground there. But In Your Dream does kill off Q on the Mirana. On to Cuckoo though. The Tiny is very low. So Masteros and Fearless take him out. In Your Dream trying to run with the RP. Is out from Arbet. They've caught out Jackie again. Jackie though surviving the magnetic field won't be enough. He will die in the end. But they got Arbet. And Zephyr is also going to go down. It is only In Your Dream left. Zephyr is the only one with buyback on the Lina. But what can he do? He'll buy back. In Your Dream needs the help. He needs to dodge that arrow, but he cannot. He does get stunned up. He'll go down. 0 buybacks left on Among Us. But I don't believe they can actually go high ground without their Arc Warden.
No, that's the saddest bit for MG.Trust. They managed to win a big fight. They go through 2 lives of that Morphling, and they cannot really get a good shove. Now, they will try. They know they have got a lot of time here. It's just not going to be that quick, but they should be able to find maybe the additional tier 3, maybe do some good damage on that melee racks. We'll see. You do have Zephyr back up. He's got March around to play with. Not too far off until Cuckoo and Abed are back up as well. So there's an opportunity here for Among Us to defend. And it's
John,
just not the fastest.
There's a DD rune down at that bot rune spot right now. Could be very valuable if MG.Trust do manage to pick it up on their Arc Warden. Masteros, he'll go back for a bit. Like he just wants to buy some clarities and keep himself up. They'll get a secondary racks here. Fearless taking care of it. 2 racks is up. Masteros, he's going for the tier 4 towers. Cuckoo misses the toss back. Gets arrowed up with the Yule Scepter setup and will not die. It's going to be alright for now. Nice relocate out from March. Once again saving the day, but they've got to protect these tier 4 towers. MG.Trust, are they going to be able to get it done? A toss back again onto Masteros. A skewer back into the fountain, but Masteros, he's too tanky. He's too tanky. They've got Cuckoo there on the Tiny. He's going to die In Your Dream. Or rather, March. He was trying to help him out on the IO. 15 more seconds for In Your Dream to be back. They've got the RP up. Abed needs to commit at the Ancient. It's under attack right now. MG.Trust, they're not stopping. They're just going after objectives. Abed, he's getting his blink cancelled constantly. He's looking for an RP. He can't get one. They're too split up. That'll be MG.Trust. They win it 2-1 and make their way through to the grand final of the Monster Energy Summit 13. And this is a repeat, John. They did make it to the grand finals of the BTS Pro Series 3 just last month. And I don't think any of the viewers, when the Summit 13 first started, I don't think they believed MG.Trust would have been able to do it again, but they're in the grand finals.
Yeah, it's off the back of that Jackie Arc Warden. And he wasn't even there for that last fight for the most part. They sacrificed so much in Among Us to win out. They take their time way too slowly. We talk about the issues with the draft, right? They were waiting for Abed to kind of get his farm up with the Blink Echo. In Your Dream as well, and that Morphling went for the right-click build, but there was a preemptive disarm on Fearless as well. So a lot of back and forth there. Really tight game, but MG.Trust, I mean, that dive at the end, the skewer back couldn't even kill off for Timbersaw, just lining up there. And what a series on hand. Now, Among Us isn't out, but they're going to have to fight their way through that lower bracket now.
They definitely are, and well, they're going to be in the lower bracket final straight off the bat, so they're not going anywhere yet. It is going to be either Boom Esports or TNC Predator that are going to be matched up against them, and we're going to find out the winner of that series straight after this. But before we go to a short break, don't forget to put your MVP vote in. Of course, the Monster MVP. It is bts.gg/Monster MVP. John and I, we're going to go put our MVP votes in right now, of course, and I might just go for Masteros on that Timber, John. He was 13-3-9 and just seeming unkillable. Apart from that, though, we'll be back tomorrow. We're going to go to a short break and we'll see what the panel has to say about the upper bracket final we just went through.